Canada is a country where the responsibility to make laws or bylaws is divided between different levels of government: federal, provincial or territorial, and municipal. The distribution of these powers is set out in the Constitution, which lays out each level of government's areas of jurisdiction. Jurisdiction means a government has the right to create laws or bylaws in a specific area of responsibility. This gives a government the authority to propose, pass, and implement laws or bylaws, programs, and policies in that area. At the federal level, Canada's Parliament, composed of the Senate, the House of Commons, and the monarch represented by the Governor-General, is at the heart of this process. As the legislative branch of government, Parliament makes laws and holds the government accountable to Canadians. Provincial and territorial legislatures play a similar role across the country. And in turn, they give municipal governments authority over certain areas. Canadians interact with these three levels of government every day, and citizens can play a role by actively engaging in the process and by electing officials to all three levels of government. What exactly is each level of government responsible for? The federal government is responsible for areas that impact all Canadians. For example, national defense, citizenship, currency, postal service, and criminal law, to name a few. The federal government is also responsible for ensuring consistency across the country in the areas under its jurisdiction. The provincial or territorial level of government has authority over areas where there can be regional differences due to geographic, social, or economic factors. Some examples of these areas include education, healthcare, and natural resources. Sometimes the federal, provincial, and territorial governments come together to work on complex policy challenges or to collaborate on areas where responsibilities might overlap, such as immigration or the environment. Provincial and territorial governments also delegate some of their powers to municipal governments, including the management of local services like public transit, libraries, and city parks. Indigenous peoples in Canada have complex and evolving relationships with the federal system of government. Several Indigenous governments across the country have decision-making powers over key programs, services, lands, and economies through negotiated agreements with the federal government. Parliament and other legislatures across the country each play an important role within Canada's system of government. They are responsible for creating laws and ensuring that governments are accountable to Canadians. Whether federal, provincial and territorial, or municipal, each level of government works to better the lives of Canadians.